Hello, friends. Oh, goodness. I have all the feels coming in here. So I haven't been in here for a while. I don't even know how long. Um, but I missed you guys, and I didn't mean to just ditch you cold turkey, but I needed to just pull myself back. Um, so I'm coming on to update you about all things. It's 2023, a new year. First things first, I committed last year, I think it was on January 11th, to go live for 365 days, and I didn't make it, and it's okay. Um, and I just appreciate all of you who tuned in, both here and Facebook and on YouTube. And I just like all these people on YouTube who found me over this past year when I was doing these videos. Hello, I love you. Thank you. Still going to be around. I just don't know how often. And I really just find myself popping into my Instagram stories, which go into my Facebook biz, which is Rebellious Nurse Stories. So if you want to have the most updated content and just know what's going on. That's where I show up when I have energy and time and things to say for right now because I have so many balls that I'm juggling and so only a certain amount of time. I look back on when I had all the freaking time in the world before I was a mama. And man, if I could just shove my own foot in my ass, like Red Foreman. I don't know if you guys know that '70s show, but it is my number one. That and How I Met Your Mother. Um, but Red Foreman, man, got to get me some Red Foreman for past Carly. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit around and regret and wallow. So I wanted to say all that. And I do owe a follower a video on depression, and I have not forgotten about that either. Um, but I wanted to update you guys on breastfeeding, and I tried to like put all the pressure on myself to like come on by yesterday because yesterday was February 7th, which was drumroll my 2-month anniversary of stopping breastfeeding on 12/7, which was 3 days before Katrina's 7-month birthday or whatever milestone. I was sitting there holding her. I think I was pumping or something like that. Hey, Susanna, love you, girl. Um, I was holding my baby, and I was just in so much rage. Um, Rage is an emotion that I have felt a lot as a mother. It's really uncomfortable to have, it's uncomfortable to talk about. Just going to drop that here for right now. If you're watching this and you've had similar things, send me messages so we can talk about it, please. Um, Lovely, lovely, lovely to see you, my dear sister. Um, so I'm sitting there holding my baby, enraged, and I'm just like, I don't know what to do. I did so many videos on breastfeeding and my journey and how much of a struggle it was. And I just felt like I was like clinging on to this thing and it wasn't working out and it kept not working out. And like, I didn't want to accept that it wasn't working out because I wanted it really bad for my kid. But it got to the point where I was pumping all day long and I was getting like a bottle and a half maximum. And every time I tried to increase my milk supply, the pump would like not be consistent or like it's like so it just there wasn't a consistent means for me to build this supply up. It felt very, very hopeless. which I think powerlessness is a feeling that I get into and that elicits the rage, things I'm learning about myself. So, holding my baby in rage, really freaking uncomfortable. Don't want to be doing it. And just feeling so depleted. And I had been toying with stopping pumping for a while, but I had been almost like wrestling. So I'm under the belief that we all have kind of like these different parts of ourselves that form an internal family. And so what happens when things happen when we're younger is like parts of us fracture off. They develop coping patterns, yada, yada, yada. And basically, you have this dysfunctional family inside of you that like good the way it felt for me for a long time is like I was fragmented and these parts of me were fighting each other, and so I could never like get like full ground on stuff. I'd be like, oh, I think I feel this way, but I feel this way. It was really unsettling, really it was just fucked. Okay, well, there's no other word. um so I had been wrestling with these different parts. Like, part of me was like, I'm done breastfeeding. Like, I can't go on. And then more part of me was like, we're not done. So I couldn't let it go. So finally, I'm sitting there on 12/7/2022, upset. And I'm like, okay, why am I enraged? And I'm like, I feel depleted. I feel like there's not enough support. Every mom sure feels like there's not enough support because we're not doing things the way we're supposed to be. And I was like, okay, what can I cut out of my life? And breastfeeding was it. That's what happened. And it was a full moon that day. And as soon as I realized it was a full moon, I was like, boom, that I could feel it. The way that I'm starting to get in touch with my body and understand, like, I was telling you, I was feeling this resistant energy and I knew I was feeling it, but I couldn't get my energy behind stopping breastfeeding. If I had stopped it any sooner than that very moment, I would have had guilt. I would have literally left remnants of guilt inside of me. I would have not been fully aligned for that decision, right? Parts of me would not have been in alignment with that decision. I needed to come to a place where every part of me was in full alignment because I literally, I had been like a few days ahead with pumping. So I also realized in that moment, if I stop that day, I will have exactly the right amount of milk to get her to her 7 month milestone, birthday, whatever. And I was like, done. I can get my energy behind that. So 2 months ago, yesterday, I stopped breastfeeding. And a month later, I was like, I think I'm getting my I called it my life source, but now I want to call it my mojo back. And now 2 months after that, I'm feeling like ridiculous. And additionally, I don't remember when my last update to you guys was, so if I'm repeating, I'm repeating. Um, I I turned 40 October 25th, and I decided to take all the money that I got for my birthday and throw it at a trauma therapist because of just all this stuff that I had been going through being a mom. I felt like I was in constant emotional, what is it? Constant emotional flashback, up, down, like tight, clenched, like just all the time. And it was not okay. And then I also felt very, very fragmented. I also felt very much like I was in these like freeze responses because certain parts of me were fighting. And I wrote all these intentions down to work with this trauma therapist. And I worked with her for 2 months, one time a week. And that ended what? So I would say I think it ended. I think we had our last session before maybe in the beginning of the new year, whatever. It's been 2 months ish since I saw her. It's amazing. I did a lot of things by myself to help myself heal, and they were all valid, and I'm going to keep going. But to bless myself, to decide that I was going to use this birthday money to put towards myself in that way, massive step, massive up level. And I can literally feel the space and the energy and everything that is continuing to integrate since the session. I have never felt more like healthy, I guess you can say, especially here because that this has been my struggle. Um, just not seeing the world, like seeing the world in a really fucked up way and feeling really fucked up and just feeling really ashamed of who I am and bad and wrong and hating myself and like all this stuff. Like this was my life, and I didn't really, I think I did talk about it a lot, and I accomplished a lot with that shit going on, but it was because I had these programs of like I need to prove myself and blah blah blah. And whatever, I could probably go on like massive tangents about this. We're going to stop here. So that's my breastfeeding update and my like life source update. I'm feeling super good. Today I have really high energy, so that's why I was like I need to jump on and do this video or else I'm going to keep putting it off. Um I'm feeling super able to talk about things that like I had been ashamed of talking about online, which is like the fact that essentially, I woke up from a massive brainwashing of the medical field and life, American culture, and decided to leave my profession because it was extremely toxic for me personally. I'd like to say that my profession as a nurse, um, because trauma can get like activated, and I've learned that I had been living with complex PTSD, um that I'm certain that my nursing job like unlocked some of that shit that had been buried for many years as well and just compounded. I can't even imagine where I would be had I stayed in the, working in the pandemic and everything now, because now 2 years later everyone's, it's almost like all these nurses are striking and all this stuff is like all these nurses are saying like the hospitals are terrible and they're treating us terrible and blah blah blah, and it's like it's almost like I saw that like before it happened, or I was already going through that like 2 years ago. You know what I mean? Like waking up to like, oh my God, these people are parading around calling this healthcare. These people are saying that we're helping, and they're fucking keeping us sick. And then they're abusing their employees and they're using us as their facade of like, oh, we're such good people and we want to help people. They're using us to facilitate people staying sick. Like, fuck that. So I decided a long time ago, 2020, and it came to it. My job started putting pressure on me because I was using my voice to say, I'm not going to be abused anymore. You're going to pay me for the work that I'm doing, or I'm not going to do the work, because they were trying to like, lowball me and like use me. And they got aggressive with it. And I was like, okay, it's time to walk away now. So I walked away, and I was like, I felt like it was kind of the universe being like, this is the time, Carly. So that was my 38th birthday. That was right before my 38th birthday. And I had no fucking clue what I was going to do. And I'm very entrepreneurial, but I had a lot of shit. I had a lot of trauma and a lot of freezing and a lot of just shit to work through. And I left, but then I couldn't come back into my position, my career, because of these mandates and because of my belief system. And I I'm losing my train of thought, and I'm like totally in a rant right now. Oh, things that I didn't feel comfortable talking about. So I had to like figure the shit out, and I never felt comfortable talking about this stuff. I always felt like so ashamed of just like I don't know. It was just it was just the feeling that I had, you know? And so I'm starting to like really feel a lot more comfortable to talk about this shit and show like all like really my life on Instagram and just reveal myself and let you guys see me even deeper. And I remember starting this challenge, this live challenge, um, that last year and thinking like I want to become more visible. I want to let people see me. One of my main wounds, if not my core wound, is connection. And I didn't know this for a very long time. I didn't know this until the last couple of years. I have a connection wound, um, and just a very difficult time allowing people to see me and feeling comfortable connecting like intimately with people. I never thought that I was like that, but that's like one of my things. And one of my intentions setting out with these videos is to try and, feel freer to be seen and to build community and to connect more and all of these things. And I really do feel like that came out of it. And I just feel a lot more open to talk about things and not care so much about what other people think or that I feel ashamed of it or anything. I have nothing to be ashamed of, you know? So that's really, really cool. Um, and I got to go to Atlantic City with my sister and have my first outing without baby, my first weekend without baby. And that was magical. Um, and just still sorting a lot of stuff out and juggling so many balls with my Etsy business and making so much progress with that. I was sharing about that today. Um, I claimed online the craziest thing that I could have never even said, like aloud or in front of somebody who wasn't super close to me, even like probably a month or 2 months ago. Um, I showed how much I had made on my Etsy shop less than 10 years into it because September is going to be 10 years since I started it when I was in nursing school. And I claimed that I want to make the same amount this year. And I still don't feel bad about it. Like I think it's great. I think that the online spheres really need more vulnerability and more transparency of real life because I think a lot of people kind of come on and like show the pretty things, and I try and balance it more. And that's my goal, is to continue to do that. And for the longest time, like I told you, I was like so ashamed to share stuff. But if I'm being honest, like this is like my beginning as far as I'm concerned. Like maybe even before, maybe my pre-beginning. Um, I feel like there's so much more that's here for me. And I'm starting to realize like how fucking cool is it gonna be for me to like really show myself and let y'all watch me climb this ladder of self-actualization. You know what I mean? Climb or watch me systematically leave these freaking trauma systems that compose this society. Like somebody who grew up so normal and then had all this, this career and this life and this education and blah blah blah, and to like watch this person like flush it down the toilet because they woke up one day and they're like, ah, this doesn't fucking resonate with me, and it's corrupt and abusive and I'm not selling my energy to it anymore, you know? So I think it's pretty cool. I'm gonna keep being as honest as I can. Um, I don't know what else I can update you guys on. Oh, okay. My mama is going to come and visit tomorrow and stay with baby and I until next week because Bry, my partner, is going to go on an adventure with his friend down to Florida because his friend just moved down there. So I'm really excited to have my mom come and stay here. And we've never done anything like this. And, it's going to be like three generations of girls like hanging. And I'm hopefully going to have a chance to do like a lot of stuff, guys. I have so many, and I have so much inspiration. I have so much energy, and I have so many ideas. And I think I'm actually going to have a chance to make a bunch of them come to fruition, which is phenomenal. I just feel like it's like very slow moving on the day to day because of all the things that I juggle, and then just like the emotional draining that comes with being a mama. Um, to such a young baby. Katrina is crawling and a week later standing. Um, she's she's going to be walking, I think, in the next month. I would even say she could be walking in 2 weeks. She's today specifically, she like holds on to, she'll like climb something and hold on to it, and she'll like back up and like take her hands off of it and just balance. She's a little wobbly sometimes. But man, that chick is like a bull. She's a Taurus sign, because she was born May 10th. And so she's a bull, and it's very apparent. And man, what a life violation. You know what I mean? Like, wow. Like the cutest freaking terrorist I have ever seen. Um, it is just being a mother, being a parent is like, I had no idea. I had no idea. But I love her so much, but it's hard. I admitted yesterday on my Facebook story, like, momming is fucking hard for me. It's like, it's almost goes against everything that I am composed of, it feels like at times. Like it's perfect for me. Like, okay, so today we were, I was doing laundry and I took her out on the mat. She was in her little playpen area that we got for her. And I took her out, I put her on the mat on the hardwood floor, and I started doing laundry with her because she likes to do that. And I just want, I want to engage and interact with her and whatever. And she was just sitting there. She was just sitting there. She loves socks, especially her dad's socks for whatever reason. I was calling her Katrina Sock Monkey. And I was just like, she wasn't whining. She was just sitting there. She wasn't like crawling all over and having us tell her no 800,000 times, and then having us move her and moving back and going everywhere we didn't want her to go. She was just sitting there. And I was just like, I could do this. I could do this all day long. But the moment the whining, my ears are so sensitive. The whining and the just constant everything, everywhere, all the time. I'm just like, oh my God. Oh my God. And that's when it's not fun. It's just not fun. But we're not here for the little temporary stages. We're here for the long term, right? So just admitting to you guys, some of the things that I find the hardest about being a mom right now. Um, but I'm having fun making her food. I'm making her like healthy stuff, and blending it myself, and that's cool. And I don't know. What else can I update you guys on? I think I feel complete for right now. So that's that. You know what? I'm gonna pull a card. That's how we're gonna end. I think it's still the full moon. We just had a full moon in the sign of Leo. And what ends up happening to me on full moons many times is that I get a lot of energy. So it's 11:18 p.m. I have had the most insane day. And I have not been getting the best of sleep because our little baby is going through a sleep regression and I'm not getting a lot of sleep. I went from getting a decent amount of sleep to not getting a lot of sleep. And um, just having to get up early for work, all the things. So I'm feeling super charged. I think it's this moon. So we're going to pull a card for it. This is my Mystical Shaman Oracle deck. Badass. I love it. I don't shuffle cards very much anymore, so I feel like so clumsy. All right, we might have two cards. Oh, wow. I don't know if I'm up to reading all these. We're going to have to pick. All right, there's four. I'm going to pick one. I already knew it was going to be this one. There were three that were together, and then there was one that was separate. And the one that was separate, I had a feeling that that's the one it was. I was like, no, I'm still going to put them together and sort them. So our card that we got is the Smoky Mirror, and it was upside down, which has a different meaning. It's hard to see the art, but it's pretty beautiful. And it has like usually a lot of different things that you can like find in the picture. The number is 47. Sometimes numbers have significance to people. So okay. So the essence of this card, the smoky mirror represents the aspects of what is implied yet cannot be immediately known in the world. The mystery of how things come together and how they fall apart without obvious casualty. This symbol also represents the shadow of the human psyche, the parts of the self that one disowns. The smoky mirror can also represent a state of denial or the inability or refusal to see the truth. Okay. So, since it was upside down, the message that I'm going to read is called The Medicine. Understanding the shadow of the human journey requires that you go deep into your story to discover the wound that prevents you from seeing the truth of your current situation. Your fears and expectations of disappointment and unworthiness may be clouding your capacity to see the potential in yourself and others. The smoky mirror may be showing you things you don't want as a result of your conditioning. These can become even more real, but only because you are making it so. The choice is yours. The world will hold you accountable for what you see and create. Can you see through the eyes of truth and faith instead? Question mark. This is like, um, to me, understand the shadow. It's like talking about trauma. That's what. what it feels like to me. You have to go deep into your shit. You have to like question the glasses that you view life through. Is this accurate? You know what I mean? Every single one of us, like, we can all look at this star and see something different and feel something different. Every single human being's perspective is unique and different based on their specific life story. We are all a separate universe, YO universe. And so every single one of us has a specific pair of glasses that we view life through. The more fucking trauma we have, the more layered the glasses are, the blurrier the glasses are, the more unclear we see the world. There's something for me that I uncovered on my journey a couple of years ago was I had this story that I was alone, that nobody cared, that even that all these things, that mostly that I was alone and I had to do everything alone and I had no support. That was my story. As I started to get into spirituality and healing and trauma and all these things, I literally woke up one day and I started to see all the support around me. There was constant support around me. It was actually like, wow. Like I was creating and weaving this story the whole time, but it was not real. And the thing is also that I wasn't doing it on purpose. My subconscious mind was doing it. My body was remembering things and, creating this these foggy glasses in that particular area of my life. And it blew my mind that I could be feeling a certain way and 100% convinced that things were this way and they weren't. How is that? You know? Um, that's why I just feel it's so important to question everything. And I also feel it's very important to understand that if you're in a place in your life where you feel stuck or you feel like something else that also happened used to happen to me was I like worked forever, like 10 years, like going, end result career, end result I'm self-supporting. I had it all. I worked, I got it, I got everything I wanted, and I would come home every day from work. I'm about to sneeze, I think. Maybe I won't. I came home every day from work and I would feel empty. And I would tell myself, I should be more grateful. I couldn't feel gratitude. I looked around at my life. I had everything I wanted, everything I specifically worked for and designed, and I could not feel gratitude. And I then compounded that with shame. I'm bad. I'm essentially like a pig. How could I not feel gratitude? I should be grateful. I have all these things to be grateful for. Other people have so much less. I was just compounding it all into a beautiful cocktail of bullshit and paralyzation and the freeze response. Um, but that is something that I really just hope can maybe speak to one person is like, if you're chilling here right now, listening to me, and you're like, and this resonated with you, and you feel incapacitated or that you're not viewing the world the correct way, it's not necessarily that you're trying to do that. Even though it's happening in your life, it doesn't mean that you're trying to have it happen or making it happen somehow. It doesn't mean you're broken, is basically what I'm trying to get at. You're not broken. We live in an oppressed society. That's it. We live in the freest country in the world, but we're oppressed as fuck. That's why the mental health is skyrocketing. Mental health issues are skyrocketing. Health issues are skyrocketing. You know, pinning each other against the separation in the world of just, oh, well, you feel this way and I don't like the way you feel, and I feel this way and I can't talk to you anymore, and whatever the fuck. All of this is skyrocketing because we live in an oppressed, controlled society that they don't want community. Community is healing. The moment we figure out we're all going through the same shit, the moment all of us jump on social media and start talking about our shit, the moment we can't get controlled anymore. I just had a low power mode come on because that gives us power. We can give each other power. We can resource each other and just show each other we're all going through the same shit. You're not broken. Oh, look, I went through this too. Oh, wow, this is who might be able to help you. Whatever. I'm in a rant again, I feel. But you're not broken. That was supposed to be the point of that. And I don't want to rant anymore. And I'm just really grateful that I got my buns on here. And I'm going to post this to YouTube as soon as I can. And I love you guys. And I'm going to see you again soon. I'm going to try and hop on soon. But I also can only really want to hop on when I'm inspired. I don't want to do things from force. I've done too much of my life through force and obligation and all those things. And it's not the it's not the vibe anymore. It's not the vibe I'm looking for. So, if anything resonated with you, please drop comments. Let me know that you're here with me. Let's connect. Let's whatever. Thank you. Have a beautiful night. I'll see you soon.